Cork ball presented on a size 10 hook, and they love it. I'm not ever going to stop doing this. It's fun.
And it's beautifully hooked.
And it's cold.
There it goes.
My hands are cold.
You can just take the net away, Simon.
Yeah.
Those scales dotted absolutely all around it. Those little star bursts all over it. Absolutely lovely fish. Looks like it's lost a scale there sometime during its life.
Nice little rudder.
Yeah.
Pretty little fish.
It's a cracking fish.
What's it like to hold a fish, Nick?
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a few hours.
I'll say 7, 8 pounds, possibly.
Yeah, probably 6 to 7. Right, we'll slide her back.
You can do the honours for me there, my friend.
You are. What a bailiff. This is where I fall in.
We can hope.
We can all live in hope.
It would certainly make a movie.
Right. Away you go, little chap. Perfect. The rain stopped, almost, and they're still surfacing. I think we'll get 1 or 2 more yet.
Like I was saying to Nick, you've got to be diverse this time of year. The fish hold up. They don't act the same as they do in the summer. Any method goes. And if it's taking this for me to catch that, that's all it is. And they just have a go at it. And look at this now. This could wreck it for me, but we'll cast out a few more, give it another whirl. But I must admit, I'm a keen fisherman, but I'm not too keen in this weather. But we'll certainly give it a go. Back into the hole over there and see if we can winkle out another one.
I'll put some more free offens out.
We've had 2, turned a couple of fish. There we go, they're still turning out there, off the tree there. So we shall plonk away again with my trusty bailiff here, flicking out the chummies. There's another one rising. Perhaps this rain will do something for us.
Might even get the bottom fish going.
Yeah, we could do with that as well. Well, I've escaped from the rain. Unfortunately, I'm not fishing anymore. I've come inside to show you how to tie some rigs. The rain up there has stopped the fly fishing. You can see I do enjoy that, and I'd like to be out there as soon as possible again if that rain stops doing it. But time's come to show some bottom rigs. I'm an uncomplicated fisherman. I put very, very simple rigs out on the bottom. I do believe that the most important part of carp fishing is what you've actually got presented on the bottom. OK, we all like the nice equipment on the bank, but at the end of the day, it's what's on the bottom is going to catch the fish. And if it's not set up right, and you're not confident and you're not happy with it, it just won't work. You've got to be 100% in your mind confident that what you've got on the bottom is going to work. And the system I use, and I use it with great effect, and I'm 100% confident in it and in the ability of the stuff I'm using. The hook link I use, there's loads out on there on the market. There's loads of braids, loads of different kind of monos, but I just stick with Fox Illusion. It is what it is, says on the packet, so to speak. Excuse me, it actually is invisible, or its refractive qualities make it invisible when it goes into the water, and therefore that can only be good simply for the fact that the fish can't see it. It comes in 3 different breaking strains, 15 pound, 11 pound and 7 pound. I don't use the 7 pound, it's too light for the kind of style of the fish I go for. I'm considering using it in the summer for tench fishing, but this time of year and for carp fishing, I stick to the 11 pound. It's just that little bit thinner, just that little bit more difficult to see. And this time of year when the water clarity is becoming much more clearer and the fish aren't avidly feeding. So I do use that, and I use that on all my rigs, pop-ups, bottom baits, whatever. Here's part of one I made earlier. No, I can't even find it. First of all, a length of illusion. I always pull it out, straighten it out with my finger and thumbs, just so you know, when it sits on the bottom, it's going to sit out and it's going to hang out straight and nicely for us. Small loop, purely just to put your boilie stop onto. Hook-wise, this time of year I've come right down on hooks. I go straight for a size 8 hook. Most people say, yeah, it's a small hook. But my match days, we're using the smaller hooks, the more consistent the bites. Now, this is what I always do. Whenever I'm making a rig, I get my boilie, put the old needle through like you do, excuse me, then go straight back to the end of your hair, put the boilie on, and just pull it up. And you're not going to use this boilie, so it doesn't really matter if it all falls to pieces, because all you're going to use it for is to make sure that you've got the length of that hair exactly what you want it. So there you go, that's the first stage. I've got the length of illusion, and I've got my boilie on the end of it with the boilie stop. Straight over to my Maver size 8. In the summer I will go up to a bigger hook, but never more than a 6. Again, personal preference, the waters I fish. I appreciate there's other places other than Pallington, but I predominantly fish here, obviously. Now, your hook and your line, there we go. So you put the end other than from the boilie, through the back of that hook, and just drop it down all the way to the bottom. And this is what I must stress, it's personal preference, it's experimenting. You'll find a shorter hair will work sometimes and then a longer hair will work other times. Now this is the most important part of tying the knotless knot. You want to make sure that the hair lies straight along the back of that hook. If you don't, it won't be right. It just won't hook right, and I'll show you that shortly. But hopefully I'll be able to see that I've got that line straight down the back of the shank of the hook. Now this is where, I say, the reason I tie that boilie on, I know exactly where that is going to sit on that hook now. So I normally just take finger and thumb length off, and then I go for the wraps. And I normally go to 14 down the shank. The good thing about illusion is that with its properties, I therefore don't have to use any any shrink tubing or anything like that. I can just keep on wrapping down, making the line actually in effect my shrink tubing. Back to the far end of the line, and then basically put the end through the back. It's always working through the back of the hook and the eye of the hook. And then simply pull it tight. Now, very important point coming up. When you start to really firmly pull tight on there, make sure that that line is sitting right on the back of the shank of the hook. Pull it back, and there we go. And that is simply the rig I use. Right, then just to test it, I always, as we all do, just put it on the back and see it's biting straight into my hand. Sharp little hook there. And you know that that's going to turn when it's ejected by that fish. And you can see it's happening every time. Now, again, personal preference, where you're fishing, be it silt, snags, weed, is going to come down to the length of your hook link. And again, I keep on saying, personal preference. Now, my preference is short rigs. I predominantly fish short rigs. I fish the method a lot in the summer, so therefore I want that bait near my method mix. Then all I do is take my swivel, again personal preference, I use solar swivels, very good quality swivel, end of the line, back down, and I'm going to make actually a hinge rig. Instead of using like hinge swivels and things like that, I do it purely myself. It saves on expense and it works just as well, if not better in my opinion. Small bit of the old saliva just to cut down on any burn that the illusion might do by pulling it tightly together. Snip off the excess, and voila, I've got a hinged rigged, inexpensive, very, very effective rig. Now, one thing I do use a lot, especially this time of year, and I want to show you this, is I glug it. This is something that we make at Palatrax here, and it's various flavours. And basically, poke your boilie in amongst that mess. This is a fruity one. Sink it in there. And slowly draw it out. And all over your boilie is a beautiful fruit-flavoured glug, high attractant glug. And what you can do then is you can actually dip it into pellet, into powder, and it'll cover all over there. And if we pop it into here, pop it in the old tank here, you'll see that that rig is virtually invisible with a great big lump of glugged flavoured boilie onto it. And it just looks good. I mean, you use other rigs and I'm not happy with them. I'm just happy with that, the fact that all you can really see there is the swivel, the hook